Ladies of the group, Coach Jerry here, and today I have something really cool for you. I just wanted to come up with a framework which everybody can start using. We had our Fix My Metabolism show, the first show we had, it was last week, and actually this week, and I just posted, and I just wanted to give you a framework you can start with on using when it comes to really how to track progress, how to make sure that when you are undergoing our phase one, which is basically restoring your metabolism, you're doing that on, or at least like you're in the right path. You know, like I said multiple times, this is probably one of the hardest thing you can do on your own. Like if there was one thing that you possibly could not do on your own, is probably this. You know, like most of the time, people, you know, start on a diet, they lose some weight just to get it back, and again, but this like dieting or losing weight is essentially something that technically when you learn how to do it, you possibly can go on your own. Not regaining weight back is also something when you understand how to do it, you know, you possibly could do on your own. Metabolism priming, which is like metabolism restoration, is probably the hardest thing you can do on your own because as we said multiple times, we said on the video, it's not much on what you know or what you not know. It's just about being able to track everything correctly, making sure that your body reacts in a certain way. And when you are doing that correctly, still, you know, as me, as being the coach, supporting somebody on doing that is still difficult because there are so many nuances. It's like a piece of a puzzle, like, you know, 10 different pieces that even if you miss one, you're missing the whole puzzle. Like when you do a puzzle, you tried in the past, like if you miss one piece, then you have to restart everything. You have to, you know, plug everything together. With this being said, I wanted, you know, to create something that makes a little bit of sense. And I'm just looking here on our group if I'm indeed going live. Yeah, there you go. So two people are here. Perfect. So I wanted to make this guide so that you can have a sense at least on doing that correctly. So if you are doing if you're one of the lady doing our Fix My Metabolism, and I said, you know, I'm going to have you do, you know, the quote unquote metabolism reset or metabolism priming phase, and you're doing that on this point, I wanted to give you some framework of some metrics you can start utilizing, at least you knowing that you're going into the right pathway. So what I'm doing here in a second, I'm just giving you perspective of what really needs to happen. And as you see in the description, the framework is very simple. You need to get clear on what is achievable. First and foremost, you need to set realistic goals, not goals that you don't know, you know, how to set it, not something that is unrealistic, because if you do that, obviously unrealistically, or if you visualize something is supposed to be in a way, like let's say you visualize yourself being a lower fat percent you are, then like you're just starting on the wrong hand. So first of all, you need to get clear. Secondly, you need to track correctly. There are metrics you need to look, and usually are very simple. Is weight metrics on a daily basis initially, right? When you are in this phase, measures, tape measures on the weekly basis, right? Visuals, like you need to see on the mirror something is changing, because like if you see yourself puffy, if you see yourself retaining water, usually like you have a visual of that. And then you need biofeedbacks. Like you need to be sure that your main biofeedback, which is sleep, hunger, cravings, energy, and mood, are under control. Okay, we're gonna explain you exactly why. Secondly, like the third thing you want to be mainly checking is that when the scenario happens, like you're going to be, you know, tracking these things, and most likely are either doing a exercise protocol and a nutritional raising, meaning like you're trying to raise your calorie, you're trying to eating more most of the time. You either doing one or both, right? Whatever you're doing, you want to be progressing on those. Like you want to raise your calorie, you want to do, like you want to be doing what you're doing, and then you want to check, like all the time you encounter a scenario and you want to modify. And this is why it's so difficult to do it on your own, and this is usually why you are needing somebody, because to modify that's the hard thing. We know that if you do not reset your metabolism, if you do not get your body ready to lose weight, any diet you do is basically useless. Like you're basically chasing your tails, you're basically getting frustrated, and then you tell yourself this story that, you know, it's just me, it's my genetics, it's not working, my metabolism is broken, and basically you just didn't know how to reset it. It is that simple. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen at the moment, and what I'm doing here, I'm going to you know, go on the other where is it here, perfect. Excellent. So very simple. How to track your, like how to, like I said, let's say what is achievable first. So what you need to be doing here is calculating, like taking your metrics, the measurements, right? And I'm gonna stop this right now. There is three, like here it shows chest, and you can watch this whole thing. It shows the second measure being waist and the third measurement being hip. When you calculate, because like you can, again, this is not something I would necessarily keep track of, like calculation. I would not necessarily want to do that. You can do that just to set some goals. Obviously, if you are in my program, if you're watching this, because this is both ways, it's going to be also a module inside the program. If you're watching this and you are in the program, I'm going to have you check I'm going to have you calculate that, but it's not a must. What you want to be usually checking is the differences that these measurements are like you're encountering, meaning like if you're taking your chest and it's getting smaller, if you're taking your hip and it's getting smaller, waist is getting smaller, like you want to be looking the difference between getting smaller and getting bigger. Okay, this is kind of what it is. Here you take these metrics, you get your neck, okay, you get your waist, and you get your hip. If you're a female and you're, let's say, your age 40 years old, you would calculate, right? And you would see 29%. If you're getting smaller, and let's say this changes, for example, you calculate this and it's getting smaller. One more time, this is not something that is necessary, but why am I getting you to do that? Is because you need to also see your visual. If you are 35% and let's say you just calculated and you are 21%, the one thing that you probably want to be doing is, let's check if 21% that the visual looks like that, which this thing are actually pretty accurate, is this reflecting the reality? Like, do I look the same way? Because when you're clear, you know that you're going towards the right path, right? So you want to be having a sense of what is happening, if that's the truth, but also you want to be really coming up with realistic goals. If you're 50+%, chances are you're not going to get 15 all at once. If anything, and again, I'm going to talk about realistic, and I'm going to obviously be very honest here. If you are 50%, you probably want to aim for 35%. If you are 35, you might want to aim for 21, but not all at once. You need, especially if you're priming your metabolism, you are really understanding like a protocol or a process to get closer and closer to even being able to make this happen. But with this being said, if you make a calculation and you look exactly what that is, chances are you're in the right track, okay? Secondly, when you want to be calculating, again, are the, like you want to be taking weight, not for you to attach yourself mentally or just to get obsessed about the scale or something, but you want to be using as the same, like when you do any other thing, you want to be using this as data gathering, okay? So like you want to gather data. Like you want to be, like, as we know that women especially, like you change your weight, like your weight is different, like on a weekly basis, maybe 5 or 7 times, right? Like look at this, like from Sunday to Monday, like one time you're 153, 149, 147, 150. If you are 153 and and then like you are 147, you celebrate, you're like, oh how cool that is. The day after you're 150 and you're like, fuck, I'm doing something wrong, I must be doing something wrong, I must change my approach. How do you change that? How you're not getting emotionally attached is that you take a median weight. Like you take the highest 3 days of the week and the lowest 3 days of the week, and then you get a median weight, okay? If you do forget to weigh yourself, what you're doing at the moment then is you just taking off the day that you forgot, the 2 lowest, the 2 highest, and you take a median weight. One more time, you're doing that thing in that specific way. Then what you do after that, pretty simple. And let's just check if this thing is still recording. Yes, perfect. What you do after that, you track your visual. Like we said, like, are your picture getting any better based on what you're doing, right? And then the last but not least is the most important. You are tracking your feedback. Is the sleep getting better? Do I have energy or not? My cravings is getting, like, do I have more craving, less hunger? Am I moody all the time? I'm nervous. Like, am I stressed? Like, you need to be able to track those, because without that, you do not understand if you're priming your metabolism. Your metabolism is not a calculator, like many people say. It is not a chemistry set. It's not like when you change your hormones, everything is going to get better. It's a thermostat. It's very close to a thermostat. Like, it adapts to changes is a stress barometer. It senses stress. Stress could be lowering your diet. Stress could be exercises. Stress could be a trip that you have to do. Stress could be your kids if you're very stressed. Stress could be your job. It's very much a stress reactor. So you need to be able to change that. Now, the third phase of this particular framework is you being able to measure and then see what the scenario happened and then change something, okay? Now, if you are inside the program, the scenario I'm going to give you that the 3 scenarios or 4 scenarios I'm giving you right now will have specific nutritional framework behind it. Again, supported by me or one of my team. You will not do that on your own. This is so much difficult to just tweak and change these things on your own. For the sake of this video, which is also inside our group though, the scenarios could be the following. Number 1, you could lose weight. You could get better visual, right? Better metrics. The measurements get smaller and everything. And you will improve the sleep, all the biofeedbacks, sleep, energy, hunger, and all that stuff. This is the best case scenario, okay? This is the minority of people that lose weight, get measurements better, look better, feel better. If this is happening, you are in the right track. You can keep hiring your calorie. And usually, it's mostly like we're doing a metabolic reset, you are in the right track and you keep progressing. If you are not getting that, you are for example improving your biofeedback, scenario number 2, but you're not losing weight and maybe even you're gaining weight, okay? In this specific case, while you feel like it's not good, is actually a good thing because your metabolism is reacting, okay? Therefore, there is nutritional and lifestyle modification to be made, okay? Chances are we would not necessarily raise so much. Again, there will be progression to be made depending on the situation, but you will need to be assisted on that. But I just want you to be able to understand scenario 1, scenario 2. Scenario 3, it might be that you are losing weight, your measurements are getting smaller, but you're not improving your biofeedback. And while you're going to celebrate, this is not much of a celebration because that means that you are metabolism is getting adapted again. You're undergoing metabolic adaptation one more time. Therefore, you need a strategy to not get it to adapt your metabolism. You need somehow, despite maybe even gaining weight or staying the same, you need to fix the biofeedback first. And this is scenario number 3. Scenario number 4, which is obviously the last scenario, the worst one, is like your metabolism feedback is bad, you're gaining weight, or you're not changing, like nothing is really changing. So you look the same, you're feeling like shit, like what you're doing is not working, and therefore, in fact, you need to change the whole process, the whole strategy again. Hopefully, this is clear. This is as detailed I can go inside this video. One more time, if you are in the group, if you are in a program, you will have another guide on the bottom that shows you exactly what to look for, and then you're gonna have a button to take a call with me or one of my coaches to really apply this situation. If you see this and you are in the group, this is as detailed as we can go here because you need, for this, it's something that you need to go with one-to-one coaching and really understand what's going on, because one piece of the puzzle you're missing, it will mess up the whole thing and you would waste more time and more energy on fixing this, okay? But nonetheless, if you are in Fix My Metabolism show and you were there before, and I'm telling you, okay, just go on and try to do this. This is what you want to be looking. Realistic changes, realistic goals, right? Tracking the progress and modifying based on the scenario that's happening. Hopefully this is helpful for you, and I'm going to talk to you very soon.